Greetings and salutations, saints. We are here again for another episode of Fabian Seh. And I am your host, Fabian, who going to say some things. This time, guess what? It's the first time having guests. Yes, we have guests today. And we're looking at how COVID-19 has affected arts, culture, and entertainment, or has affected and will continue to affect us. There's been a bag of cancellations and things are up in the air, a lot of uncertainty. And so I've asked two people who I'm proud to say me know a long time. One of them from she in a high school, me know her. Deborah Hickling-Gordon is with us, and Deborah is a colleague of mine from the University of the West Indies and the Institute of Caribbean Studies, and she's a lecturer in CCI, Creative and Cultural Industries, and she's also an art lover, a nation builder. She's involved in Women in Film, and Mikie, Uncle Mikie Bennett, who is songwriter, producer, musician, supporter and lover of the arts, mentor, teacher, and somebody who's been in the industry for a long time and is still working, grooming and mentoring. So Debbie and Mikie, bless up, and welcome. So happy to have you here.
Thanks,
yeah, wonderful to be here, man.
So how do you do in these COVID-19 times? What are going on?
Socially distancing myself.
Same here. Trying to take advantage and be grateful for the opportunities that it has provided. I try not to look at the negative side of things, but I'm trying to take advantage of the positive.
Yeah, and adjusting and readjusting.
Yeah, it's
For
an
myself,
opportunity, you know.
It is. And for myself, I found that I tend to live a very solitary life anyway. So being at home by myself and working is the norm. Going out way less and definitely not hugging people because I'm a hugger. I'm very tactile. So that for me has been a big adjustment. You know, I get stuff, okay, virtual hug, from afar. But as you both know, in Jamaica, but also the rest of the world, there's been some serious Broadway lockdown. Like Broadway
Absolutely.
proper lockdown. Concerts have been cancelled, gigs have been put on hold. Mikie, what about tours and concerts on the music side? What's going on our landscape?
Well, I don't think the world has ever faced a crisis quite like this, So I think most of us, it caught all of us by surprise. I think I spotted about 2-3 weeks ago because I was still seeing people posting tour dates and things, and I myself was supposed to go away to do a little university thing, and about 3 weeks ago I started to feel like it wasn't going to happen. We're supposed to be having a big party for my brother coming, and like I said, about 3 weeks ago I started to say the writings on the wall that this might not happen.
Right.
About 3 weeks ago, I was helping out Jaria for the
Reggae Month.
in the Reggae Month planning.
Right.
And I by myself, have a really close relationship. And about 3 weeks ago, I said to him, listen, Jaria sometimes we get this reputation of being a Reggae Month organization.
Right.
You guys should get in front of this thing and start preparing artists for what could possibly be a significant loss of earnings for the next 3-4 months. We spoke about it. It never got any further. 3 days ago, I saw Frankie Campbell put out that thing that the music industry in a coma, saying pretty much the same thing. I mean, and when things happen like nationally, I mean, when there's a hurricane or stuff, and things can't take place here, then people start to look outside of Jamaica for possible thing. But when we think about the whole world in almost the same boat right now, it's something. And as you mentioned, I had a couple of the MIR people on a big conference call last night, and we're talking about a lot of things. And I said to them, listen, as writers, you have to be very observant in this time. Because this has
Yes.
never taken place in our lifetime. And we
Exactly.
owe it to the next generation to record all the things that are taking place. Not just about the memes, but what is happening in your family, how you feel, the anecdotal stuff, all of the stuff.
Yeah.
So pretty much like what Love and Dare did for Gilbert.
Yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
Yes.
we need. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna spur now, but we need it. Love and Dare did such a masterful job that when I was listening to it 2 days ago,
It's
I
yeah.
realized that I mean, I could have sit down with my granddaughter and explained to
And
her. She didn't
explain
understand,
it.
but yes, it painted such a wonderful picture that
It
time.
did. And a colleague of mine,
So,
Fania Williams in England, she's at Brighton Theatre. She posted on her page this morning saying there's gonna be, she's predicting this rush of creativity and expression
Yes.
when this passes, because people are now, we're living through it's experiential, but also
exactly.
the time and the stillness to create and also
Yes.
document and capture this artistically is going to be a really powerful and big thing when we're on the other side of this. Debbie,
said like only you can say things like that. Time and stillness
Yeah.
to create. No,
Yeah.
that is, I wish I had them lyrics last night. This is time and still. No, I myself have. I mean, I used to play my guitar every day, but I really seriously taking it serious now because I listen, what can I do this next couple months?
yes,
So I'm doing the YouTube
And
tutorials and
people are catching up. People
Yes.
are able to catch up with all the things that, I mean, you're in this rush of life. And one of the things that this COVID thing has shown us, is how we can do things differently.
Yes.
And how we
True.
need to
Yes.
readjust ourselves going forward.
exactly.
We've been on
Exactly.
this treadmill for the
yes,
Yes.
last,
No, it's true. That's
I
serious thing.
20 years we've been
Yes.
trying to get things going and trying to make a living. And it makes you recognize that, listen, maybe you really do need to focus in on the energy, on the
Yes.
creation of things. Or
More and more, we're going to hear the term. One of the good things about this COVID.
Yes.
And we're going to hear that more and more coming from, especially creative people. One of
Yes.
the good things to have. We're
Yeah.
going to hear that phrase more and more often.
And
And I guess we have that to look forward to.
And it's so interesting you should say that, Debbie, because I was on my phone here in front of the camera looking. I want to pronounce his name right. A young man who I'm really, really impressed and inspired by, Noel Nomdarkam. That's his actual name. Bright Spark. He had a Instagram live last night, talking about just what do you do now in this time of some people are laid off, and Sandals has closed, not taking the bookings from March 30th to May 15th, and Yannick Page was on, and Debbie, she basically said exactly what you just said. This rat race, this
Yeah.
rush for money and material
Yes,
things, this is
absolutely.
forcing us to slow down. And she said, even now assessing who you work for. And she said, some companies, the personality and true nature of who you work for is going to be revealed in this crisis. How they
Yeah, and
handle
you're-
and treat with people. And she
You're
said,
going to recognize what is important.
very much
That's
so.
what is going to emerge out of this period.
Yes.
Who is important?
And what is important.
And why they're important.
Yes.
Honestly, it's an opportunity. We've been handed a gift.
Yeah.
The need
Yeah,
to-
and the simple.
it's a
True.
it's a troublesome gift, but it's a gift nonetheless.
Very much so. What do you think is a likely, continued impact and also the fallout of COVID-19, Debbie?
Well, it's because people have operated in a particular kind of way for so long. The traditional things that they're accustomed to, they're going to be followed. Ticket sales, billions across the world.
You can imagine
yeah.
people who
So-
this is their only source of income. There's a lot of people in the theatre and thing. A lot of them have two jobs. There are a number of people in the music industry.
This is what they do.
That.
This is all they do.
Only. So, yes, this is all they
Yes.
do. I mean,
So I
This is
think,
all
let me
they
tell
do.
you what else is going to happen, I think, on a more national scale. Not even looking at the individuals, because yes, there are issues to do with the individuals that I want to talk to you about a little in a bit, but it's also going to force the governments to recognize the importance of this informal sector.
Very much so.
This sector that has been the backbone of our economy, but we haven't paid very much attention. It's going to show us exactly where the gaps have been in economic development, and that we now really seriously need to pay greater attention to these sectors that we have seen as informal. I think that's one of the good things that's going to happen.
Okay, so Debbie, it's really interesting that you should mention that, because years ago there was VPAJ, Visual and Performing Arts of Jamaica, and Katrine Smith and Trevor Ferron were the head of it. And Katrine did some really, really powerful research and shared in a presentation with us that historically, whenever there's a fallout in the world, a depression or whatever, or a stock market crash, one of the only industries that makes money or has a spike is the entertainment and creative industries, because people look to it or run to it even more aggressively for an escape, for a mirror, for something. And so if we are also in this time locking down and limiting, things are, and it's interesting that you should say a lot of artists now have jumped. John Legend did a free concert from living room.
Yes, absolutely.
Singers are doing concerts. Avery Sunshine did something yesterday. Dancers, Shelley Maxwell, our own Shelley, started a dance thing and saying other dancers to just continue the choreography in a video. And so we're getting entertained differently now.
There's another reason. I've been doing some work tracking some of the highs and lows of creativity in the Caribbean. And every time we've had troubling times, you get a renaissance. You get a spike in creativity. It happened in 1938 in the midst of those dreadful, periods recovering from the world wars and so on, and when we were going into our own labor riots, and in 1930 we had all of these, the negritude movement, and this spurt of artistry. It happened again in the 60s and 70s.
Yes.
After we got our independence and we're going through this decolonization mode, and there's civil rights and Cold War and so on. Another spurt of artistry. So I don't know if this is a catalyst for a new spurt of artistry, but there are different reasons why we expect that there's going to be an additional artistic spurt on the other end of it.
True.
And I'd like to add one of the serious reasons is that when people have a shared experience. I mean, I went into the supermarket a week ago, and when you go into a place and everybody just talking to each other.
Yes.
And it felt like on the eve of one of the hurricanes.
Yes.
Community. That's the word. That is the word I was trying to say.
Yes.
In other words, I just got a couple of people in my apartment to go walking yesterday. People would even talk. And it was such a wonderful experience just to go walking. We have a nice walking place that we can walk. And it was a wonderful shared experience.
Yes.
We would not have probably done it because on other times. But you see, there's a common enemy now. There's a common enemy.
Yes.
Mistakes are being made, things happening. Reality taking on some serious turns right now. And the more and more we get into it, when, like I said, when money starts running a little shorter, and tempo's gonna run a little shorter. And those of us who in this community and have the ability and the talent to record it and observe, because the thing about creative people is that we are more observant to things that people take for granted. So the smile that a person put out,
Mikie,
things that people say,
Mikie, we need to move one step beyond recording it. That's important. That's particularly important. We now need to recognize the importance of getting together to do the things we need to do.
Amen.
We need to use this quiet time now to revive the professional organizations.
Yes.
JADA need to start up again. Somebody need to take the time and call people together on FaceTime or whatever it is. All of those organizations that had gone quiet, JFM, need to, try to pull together the energies, because now more than ever we're going to need each other to be able
Definitely.
to create the new platforms to
True. Is
move
that serious? Is
forward.
that serious? That's serious.
Jaria, and dance has tried several times and hasn't. We haven't been able to collaborate. Cause that's where I wanted to move to next. So let's talk about some practical things people can do now, as opposed to getting lost in the despair and being startled by the loss of income and the cancellations. What is in our power to do? And I'm seeing some interesting things. Jolene Robinson, our own Jolene from Jamaica. Jolene was about to do a big show. I think it was called Night Woman, that got cancelled. So she now is going to be doing some performances online, and she's a Patreon platform where people can pay, can donate to either watch a performance or just contribute. And I think we have to definitely shift into that. Some singers have started doing things for free to entertain and said, but in the long run, I might be doing a concert from my living room that you pay for, that you can pay for online, or make a contribution towards.
So I suppose the first thing that there are many younger and more agile creatives around the technology, but there may be some of us who are not as agile,
Yes.
who now need
True.
to step up
Hey.
and learn how to send a live, and
Say it
learn
say it
how to
again.
go live, and learn how to embrace the various technologies that exist around us. We need to spend some time. We now have the children in the house.
Thank you,
Ask them to
please.
show us.
Thank you, please.
They're right there.
True.
And
Those of us who don't
also, I've been
know.
saying to people, employ these marvelous millennials and social media gurus who can get you. Even if you don't want to do it, they can do it for you. They can also tweet for you. They can also promote for you. They can also take a piece of your song. And there's TikTok take over the world now. And as you said, if you are not versed in it, you don't understand it. There's so many people around us who can help you. And even if them do a one-off thing for you a week, it's not going to break you to say, how much
Yeah.
would it cost for you to do this for me? And that's an important thing.
So actually, the second thing would be to get now in tune with your promotion. You don't have time to sort out your promotion issues. You couldn't talk to the PR person for 3 months because you're in studio.
Thank
you couldn't
you.
talk to you couldn't sit down and get your photographs properly taken. I mean, okay, so maybe social distancing will make that one difficult. But there might be your buyers and your various things that you need to sort out. Now is a good time to
A
work
very
those
good
things
time.
through.
Some people need to be working on them craft.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
that script that you wasn't your best. You can spend some time and make it better.
Yeah.
Very
You know
much
what I
so.
mean? And just at least so when it gets open again, people looking forward to this wonderful new set of experiences. We can bring it forward.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we have to be realistic. I was telling young people last night, if you every move that you make now, when you jump into a taxi, you have to say, is this trip worth it? Is this trip worth it?
Yes.
Every time you spend some money, I mean,
Yes.
I know. I mean, I took a job last week, and the only reason I took the job last week was because I said, listen, it's probably 3 months before I get another job. So
Yes.
this I forgot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
those of us who don't have salaries coming in have to start thinking a little more creatively about
Right.
pinching and spending and eating properly and eating wisely and them kind of things.
said that
It's about living. It's about surviving, really.
Yeah.
Now is the time to get in touch with your accountant. You might have
Yes.
avoided it for a little while.
Yes.
Exactly.
Now is the time to try and find an accountant.
Have that
and say to them,
conversation.
yes.
Very
What are
important.
the things I need to do? What
And
do I
also
need to
sharing
collect?
share resources with each other. You hear about something,
Absolutely.
tell somebody else. Because even something that just popped into my head is, let's say, even in terms of theater in Jamaica, when things open up back, as opposed to 1 or 2 or 3 people having 6-week runs, share the theater space. Me check 3 weekend, me give you 3 weekend, you have 3 weekends or 2 weekends. So we now get to recoup some of our losses and put our work out there. As you were saying, maybe it's time to share a new song online, do a reading of people reading your script
Yes.
online, and you share. People give you comments. that this is the time now to use the space, use the time for this creativity, but also the collaboration, and also to help lift each other's spirits. Because there are people who are frightened, who are in despair, who are feeling overwhelmed. We can also, as artists, but also spiritual beings having this human experience, reach out and support. I checked in with a sister of mine who she just popped into my head. I hadn't seen her in a long time. She had hurt her leg, or it was taking long to heal. And I sent her a voice note and she responded and she said, "Boy, Fabian, thanks for checking in. I got
That's
an
all I
update."
needed.
And the energy was just really, really nice. So sometimes let's reconnect, because as Mike was just saying, is the levity, which also supports our artistic expression and who we are and what we're offering the world.
Absolutely. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. We have to see it as such and take care of each other as best we can, you know?
And Mikie, and you probably know, because I haven't heard anything in the social media, and I don't know if it was an old show on Cool, because, you know, when Patrick Lafayette, they do the thing on Friday nights. There's a young artist named Ideologist
I don't know.
who died in a bike accident.
No, I never heard. I've heard.
So I'm meant to check with Cool and check if it was because I think it was a recent show, and he was saying, like, I think the young man's in an accident on Friday or something, and he played one of his songs that's on the charts now in the States, these reggae charts, and a young artist who apparently died in a car accident. Any closing?
In Jamaica?
Yeah, in Jamaica. His name is Ideologist.
I'll definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
Any closing, parting words of wisdom, advice to artists, creatives, old, young, and in between in this COVID-19 time?
I think Deborah had mentioned there's a time to just, first of all, reset. It's a time for reset as creative people, and take a little time out to just breathe a little bit. I mean, go back into the things that find out why a lot of things. Get in touch with your family, get in touch with your community a little bit more, and just realize that this what happened now has never happened in the history of the earth. So this is an important time, and we have to be observant of everything and be just ready for whatever happens. And as creative people, like, we can't help but create, but we also have to be a part of a community.
Yes.
So when we ask to give advice and bring solace and just reach out and touch, and at the same time, let's find the time to bring a little time to the art, things that you've been working on, or things that you've been putting off. Kind of. This is an opportunity.
Yeah.
Although it can come with hardship, but we can get past this.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's it's pretty much. I was gonna say pretty much the same thing, that we need to see it as an opportunity. We need to embrace what we can as an opportunity. And there was one thing that actually ran through my mind. We need to start to think forward. We need to use the opportunity to plan.
Yes.
So make some plans for the other side. Make some plans for thinking of how we're going to do things differently on the other side. Use this as a period for introspection.
Yes.
So, because it's very clear, this running down of money, and this running down of opportunity and the fame business and the individuation and I'm an individual, I don't need anybody else.
Yep.
We need to reset some of that.
Yes.
And so here's an opportunity to think of new ways to do things.
Yes.
And I would embrace the artists, the soul of our nation, the soul, the conscience, the spirit of our nations. Those are the people who need to start the reset.
Very much so.
And
Big
this
time.
is the opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation on Fabian Seh. I really wanted to have this conversation. I'm glad we did. I think it's so important. And folks who watch, please, subscribe, like, and comment if you have any ideas, opinions, feelings. Please share and rally and rope in your friends, family, other artists, organizations. Hit people up and ask for guidance or share your insights as we get through this COVID-19 together, because we are what? Survivors. We lick up with Talawa, and we name what we name. Big up on yourself. Blessings, love, and light.